Hey folks, Justin here with MOVO. Today we're going to be taking a look at a smartphone video kit from MOVO. In particular, the Smartphone Video Kit 8. There are multiple versions of the smartphone video kits from MOVO. They're going to have different microphones, lights, and accessories, just depending on which kit you get. Now, Video Kit 8 is a fun one because it's the jumbo kit. It's the one that's going to include pretty much all those accessories and lights and microphones that you see in the other kits, but all in one jumbo kit. So if you're not sure which one's right for you, this just might be the one. And here's everything that comes inside the box. First up, we have that happy, not happy comment card. Lets us know how to reach out to MOVO if you have any questions or comments. There's also going to be a manual. This has all the specifications and all the information on setting up and using the different components. So definitely keep these on hand just in case you need them. Next up, we have the kit itself. As you can see, it comes in a nice hard case. Once we unzip the case, you'll see that there are a ton of different things that come with this kit. I'll go ahead and set everything up and we'll take a look at each one individually. Here we have all the components of the Smartphone Video Kit 8. I might breeze through these, that way we have time to get to each of the different components, but you can always pause, rewind, and go back as you wish. Let's go ahead and start off with the PR1 Smart Grip. This is a great piece of equipment to add to your gear bag. It's going to allow you to attach your smartphone to various rigs or attach various equipment to this rig itself. Basically what we do is we take our phone, we slide it in here and tighten it down on the top. Once we get it all the way tightened on there, this thing isn't going anywhere, especially when you consider it has this helpful little wrist strap. I have had this on my wrist a number of times where it has saved me big, or should I say save my smartphone and my equipment big. A couple fun things to note: on the back, on the top, and on the bottom are 1/4 inch screw threads. This is your standard size screw thread for most of your equipment and your accessories, so super awesome that you have 3 of those that you can use to mount to this rig. Also on the top, you'll notice there is a cold shoe mount, also great for mounting anything from microphones to lights, even more than that. And on the bottom, you'll note that there is a bubble level. On the bottom piece here, if you unscrew it, it's also going to have another 1/4 inch thread on the bottom. But what this does is it allows you to separate the strap from the entire PR1 Smart Grip. And if you loosen up a little bit, slide it all the way down, now you can even use this just as a stand for your smartphone. Or you can use this to attach to other pieces of equipment, which we'll do here in just a moment. Next up, we have the MVT1. This is a durable mini tripod that you can use for not just smartphones, but also DSLR cameras and smaller camcorders. I'll go ahead and screw this ball head onto the base of the tripod. This ball head is super useful. I've used it a number of times separate from this tripod. It has a locking knob here that allows you to swivel the top mount around and get it just where you want it, and then tighten it all the way down. This is a 1/4 inch thread on the top, which means we can attach things like our PR1 Smart Grip that we just took a look at. Once we have this attached all the way on there, I can look at my bubble level and I can get it just level, or maybe not if that's the shot that I'm looking for. Now, when you unscrew this, it's super easy to attach the extension tube, just screw it right on there. And once we have this on here, we do want to make sure that we have those legs spread out to the widest point that they can. That way we have even more stability on this already pretty strong tripod. We can loosen it up and extend that all the way up if we need to. Next up, we have a couple of cold shoe extender bars. Right here we have the 4-inch cold shoe extension bar. You can see there's multiple places for you to attach your cold shoe mounts to, whether it be lights or microphones or whatever else you have that has a cold shoe mount. Attach it right there. On the bottom, you notice the cold shoe mount. That's what we'll attach here in just a moment to our PR1 Smart Grip. You also have a double locking nut, which allows you to not just attach this tightly to the PR1 Smart Grip or other piece of equipment that you have, but you can also loosen up the bar itself and slide it to the left or to the right. That way, if you need it to be offset for how your rig is set up, you can get it just right for you. Let's go ahead and hook this up to the PR1 Smart Grip. Simply slide it right into the top there where that cold shoe mount is. If you're finding it's a little tight, all you need to do is loosen that bottom locking nut up, slide it in, and then tighten it back down. Then get the bar exactly where you want it. I'm going to keep it centered because that's where I have the phone, and tighten that down as well. Once you have this set up, you can attach a number of different accessories from LED lights to microphones. You can even attach another extender bar to this. That way you can maybe get a microphone or a light farther out in front of the camera without having your phone right up in somebody's face. Or you can take this piece off and you can attach the other extension straight to your PR1 Smart Grip. Once you have this hooked up, you still have access to a cold shoe mount in the back, which you can attach something like the extender bar to. And now you have multiple different accessories that you can attach to the rear of your smartphone rig, as well as a cold shoe mount in the front for attaching something like a LED light to. So the possibilities of this really are endless with these extension bars. It just depends on what you need for your rig. The Video Kit 8 comes with 2 LED lights. First up, we have the LED 30. On the bottom, you'll note that there is a cold shoe mount as well as a 1/4 inch thread that'll allow you to mount this to various rigs such as our PR1 Smart Grip and other rigs that you may have. On the side right here where we have the power switch, we also see that there is a micro USB charging port, which the kit does come with that cable as well if you don't already have one, as well as a power switch above it. On the opposite side, we are able to adjust the brightness level of the light. So I'll turn it on over here so we don't blind you. And you can see this is the low setting. Then we have the medium and high. So there's going to be multiple settings for you to use depending on what you're looking for. The LED 16 is pretty similar, but there is a few differences. One, the size, it's a lot smaller. And there's also a 3.5 millimeter connector. That means you can plug this straight into your smartphone. It still comes with the on and off switch, micro USB charging port, as well as the adjustable power. Right here we have the low setting, medium, and high. So still gives you a little bit of flexibility depending on what you're looking for. I can use it straight from the smartphone, which is fantastic. So if my smartphone is going to be handheld and I want to just use it like this, or if I want to use it on top of a rig and maybe I don't have room to put it, or I'm just trying to look less obtrusive than having a giant rig, there's multiple things that you can do to set up your rig just how you want it. Now it is adjustable in the sense that you can rotate it on your headphone jack just how you want it. Or if you want a little bit more light, we can take the LED 30 and slide it right into the cold shoe mount on the top of our PR1 Smart Grip. And now we're ready to go. And we can use either portrait mode or we can use landscape mode, just depending on what we're looking for with our shot. Next up, we have the RC101. This is a Bluetooth smartphone camera shutter release. What that means is once you pair it, it will activate your phone's shutter button. So that way if you have your phone out in front of you and maybe you're talking and you don't want to have to press that button or use the timer, you can use this RC101 remote control for that. Setting it up is pretty simple. There is an on-off button on the side. When we turn that on, there's going to be a blue LED light that starts flashing. From there, we'll go to our smartphone's Bluetooth settings and pair the remote control. After 10 minutes of inactivity, the remote control will go into power save mode. To turn it back on, simply press the shutter button and the remote control will turn back on. The first microphone that we'll look at is the MA2010. Now this is a U-shaped microphone that features a 3.5 millimeter jack, which will plug straight into our smartphone. This is a TRRS plug, meaning it can plug straight into your Android or your iPhone. Also, you'll notice that there is a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. That means we can have our headphones in while we are recording audio. Hooking this up is really quick and simple. We'll simply plug this into our headphone jack and then adjust the microphone to where we want it. This is an omnidirectional condenser microphone, so if we want to have it pointed straight up to record our voice as well as someone in front of us, or we want to have it pointed in front of us, it just depends on where your phone's camera is and what is going to be best for what you're trying to capture. Our next microphone is the VXR20. This is an omnidirectional condenser microphone that you can use not only with a smartphone but also DSLR cameras. That's because this plug right here is a TRS plug. Now if you're hooking it up to a smartphone, you'll want to use the included adapter, which has a TRRS plug that you'll use to plug into the phone. Now this microphone also comes with a furry or dead cat windscreen, which is super helpful in those windy days. Now to hook this up, I'm going to go ahead and slide the cold shoe mount right onto the extension bar that I have mounted to my PR1 Smart Grip. Next, I will plug in the 3.5 millimeter jack to the adapter. Next, I will hook this up to the smartphone itself, and I'm ready to go. Here we have the VXR10. This is a cardioid condenser microphone, cardioid meaning it's directional, focusing on audio primarily in front of the microphone. We have a red shock mount that you see here that's also included. This can come off if you need it to. On the bottom, you'll notice a cold shoe mount as well as a 1/4 inch screw thread. Now, it does come with a dead cat or furry windscreen if you need to use that. Definitely going to help you out in those windy days. It's also going to include a couple different wires. One is going to be for hooking it up to a computer or an audio recorder. Other devices that want a standard 3.5 millimeter TRS plug. Now, if you're hooking it up to a smartphone, it has another plug right here, which is that TRRS plug that we just talked about, which will allow you to hook up to your iPhone or your Android devices. That's pretty easy to know which is which. That's because there is a picture of a smartphone and it says smartphone on the one plug, whereas the TRS plug has that nice stretchy cable, which means it will hook up to your DSLR cameras and go around odd places without having a lot of extra slack. I'll go ahead and hook it up to the mount here just so you can see. It's pretty simple. Slide it on, tighten it down. Once I get it all the way tightened, then I will plug this straight into my smartphone and we're ready to go. Our last microphone is the WMic 10P. It comes with a transmitter, a receiver, a TRRS plug, and the TRS plug. And we also have the microphone itself. Here you can see it comes with a foam windscreen as well as a microphone clip. You can use this to clip onto a tie or lapel or your blouse, pretty much anything you want to clip it onto. The microphone will get plugged into the transmitter. That's because this will be transmitting the audio to the receiver. Next, on the receiver end, this is what we're going to hook up to our smartphone, or we can also hook it up to a DSLR or an audio recorder. On the top, there is the line out and the headphone jack. On the side, we have the on-off switch and volume control. Today, I'm using the smartphone, so we'll plug in the TRRS cable, plug that into the line out. Now, I'm also going to simply slide the clip right off. Once that comes off, you'll notice that there is a 1/4 inch screw thread there. I can use the included adapter. This is a 1/4 inch to cold shoe adapter, and simply tighten this down. It has the double locking nut on here, which allows me to adjust it just right. Now what I can do is I can attach this to my extension bar on the top and tighten it down. Once I have this all the way tightened down, all I'm going to need to do is plug in my microphone here. Now that we've seen all the equipment that comes inside the Video Kit 8, it's time to test out each of the microphones. I'll hook them up to the smartphone rig and to my smartphone, and then we'll compare each of them, not only to each other, but also to my smartphone's onboard microphone. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? And there you have it, the Smartphone Video Kit 8 from MOVO. I hope this video gave you more information about the lights and microphones and other accessories in the kit. That way you know what to expect when you get yours. If you have any questions or comments though, please don't hesitate to reach out and let us know. We love hearing from you all here at MOVO. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.